can't muff a punt and win a playoff football game. Doesn't work like that. Good to see everybody. Exciting win the other night against Michigan. A win that actually, after I've watched the film, I've become a little more excited about. I thought we played really, really, really hard. And yet I thought emotionally we were a little bit flat and a little bit off, but I liked the effort piece to our game. And then I thought we were good enough offensively, just shy of a 1.2 OER. Again, not every night's going to be perfect. Not every night's going to be pretty. And that one sure wasn't. Now we get the number one offense in college basketball with Purdue coming in. They're a team that's somewhat sophisticated in terms of all the actions they run, in terms of the movement. They're not a little different than some teams in the fact that they're not a huge ball screen team. So they run a lot of actions to get guys shots in areas. And, they have obviously, everything starts with them, in my opinion, with Trevian Williams, a guy that's an elite passer. He's a guy that's averaging 17 a game on the road. He's a high field goal percentage guy. He's a tenacious rebounder and doing all of it in about 20 minutes of play. And then comes in Edie, and we obviously know about his size and his development. And, so it's a two-headed monster at the in the middle. And then you put very good shooting around it. Sasha's been here forever, an elite shooter, and then maybe the top NBA prospect in our league, kind of a Westbrook type guy in the open court. So a very, very good, a very, very talented Purdue team, and a team that's old. And, I said here, and I haven't even talked about, Gillis, who's shooting 50% from the three, and some of their bench guys. So a talented team, and a team will have to play awfully well, and excited for that challenge and opportunity.
Payne kind of set himself apart from the rest of the conference in terms of developing big men, present company excluded, of course.
No, I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think the one thing that he's made it a priority in recruiting, I don't think you saw Zach on a whole bunch of recruiting, with a whole bunch of stars by his name, a young man who was a hockey player. And I think they did a great job of evaluating in that process. I think they've done that throughout their Matt's time there. And then to take it another step level, they've done a great job developing. So yeah, I don't think there's any question about their job of playing around bigs and having very good ones.
And he never plays a Twin Towers set. You've talked about maybe doing that with Kofi and Omar. Did it like once maybe? Why is that so difficult to get incorporated?
Space. If you can't stretch the floor, one guy that can't stretch it clogs the paint for another one and makes for easy double teams, easy. It just clogs the paint up, and the game is it's much easier to defend it than it is to have guys play in space.
Coach, what are some of the challenges of slowing down their big three, Edie, Williams, and Ivy?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to stop them. They're 90 points a game, and they're high octane, and you can't give them multiple opportunities on the glass. You can't give them easy baskets in transition. You've got to make them work for every touch. And the reality is just try to make them as uncomfortable as you can make them, but you're not going to stop them, completely shut them off. And yet, you've got to make them play, at the other end as well. So sometimes your best defense can be really good offense. And we've got to do that tomorrow.
Obviously, Kofi can't play the entire games. Is there a challenge there with those matchups, the way they flip flop their big men?
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out. I don't think there's they're playing each of them about 20 minutes, and there's no doubt Omar, Ben, Lieb, it's all hands on deck. So we'll throw them out there and compete and play hard. And again, there's a lot more to those two, and we got to make sure that we're solid all the way around.
Thank you.
Brad, I know every game's a evaluation of your team, but when you have a team like Arizona or Purdue come to your house, is there anything different about learning about your team in those kind of matchups?
Sure, they're the best. I mean, going in, they're really good, and it's like just like Arizona last night, and Tubulus, 14 of 24, Coloco 7 of 7. You follow them because they're good, and you follow those teams, you pay attention, you want to compare yourself, and you want to challenge, and that's what Illinois basketball is, or I hope it is. You guys better be looking at it that way, because we do. We want to, it's why we try to play the schedule we do, so we can find out where we're at all the time.
Well, I asked the question because I'm feeling that way too. Defensively, Brad, feels like the numbers are slowly increasing. You're number one right now, according to Ken's numbers, in defense in the conference. What kind of is this the challenge that you want to see your team have defensively, especially given their guards and their bigs?
They're number one in the country in OER, or they're number two. Them or Gonzaga. I mean, it's hard to imagine Gonzaga, scoring 115 in our league every night, but they're good. They've done it against a lot of really good people, and we're growing. We're getting better. We're on the incline. I like that. So now you get a challenge, and that we'll really put it to the test, and we're going to find out where we got to continue to grow and how we got to continue to get better as we head down the homeward stretch of the season.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Brad, a year ago today, you guys lost at home to Ohio State, and since then you've gone 20-1 against Big Ten teams. What is behind that stretch, and what's it like for you to be a part of this and see this all kind of happen?
Good players, really good coaches, who I think, do a good job of preparing. I hope it speaks to our culture, that there's a level of consistency. I think that, we all go through peaks and valleys in great conferences, and it's, I think the thing that would excite me about that is consistency, knowing that we've been able to try to do that a lot more nights than we haven't. And I think that you try to control the emotional piece, you can try to control the effort. We know the physical things we can't always control with the ball going in, but that's what we strive for. Is, I say it all the time, is our culture is going to win us games, and I hope that's the case.
With the consistency, I mean, you guys have, just personnel wise, there's been a little bit of inconsistency, be it players leaving or the coaching change. How have you cultivated enough of it to keep this run going through this season?
Trent, DeMonte, Kofi, veterans, Andres Feliz passes it on, Iodos passes it on. Your players set a standard. You support your players in that culture, and that carries over. I hope that our freshmen, our young guys are all paying attention, because someday it becomes their culture to be in charge of. And I said it our first few years, if I have to lead all the time, we're never going to be very good. And it's it's a player led. They do a great job. You know, our new staff, those guys have jumped right in. They've made great relationships with guys. And then they know, I hope, what our standard is and what my standard is. And we strive for that daily.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Brad, I know kind of with Edie in a 7'4" frame and then Williams and his kind of defensive impact, how much is that? How do you kind of go in attacking them, and how does that kind of affect what you guys can do offensively?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to tell you how we're going to attack them. You know, I think we got a pretty good player that we can get the ball to, and you know, we'll see how they react to him and what their choice of coverage is. They've doubled less this year than maybe they have in the past. They do a great job of ball screen coverage, mixing them up. And again, that forces our guards to have to make reads and tags. And then you know, to beat this team, you've always got to make shots. And yeah, it's, you know, they're good. They're a well-rounded basketball team.
Thanks.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned, you know, Purdue not double teaming as much. And obviously when you have someone who's 7'4" in the paint, you don't really need to do that too often. But how much of a challenge is tomorrow going to be for Kofi to have success against those two players in the paint?
No different than, you know, that's the one thing in this league. And I think over the course of 3 years or 2.5 now, Kofi has seen just about everything. And, you know, it's not the first time he's gone up against him. You know, it's not the first time he's seen a big guy, you know, and I get it. You know, Zach's very, very big. But again, it's, you know, Kofi is and does some things that are very unusual. And, you know, they got to guard him too. And they're very good players, and Kofi's a very good player, and it makes it fun. It's, you know, kind of old school basketball, watching a lot of big guys go slap bodies together.
And then in the last couple of games, we've seen a lot of teams maybe opt to single cover Kofi more than double, which we saw a lot earlier in the season. What do you think's gone into that decision for your opponents to spend more time just one-on-one with Kofi in the paint?
Plummer, Trent, Jake, DeMonte, Coleman, 3-point shooting, Luke Goody. I think being able to space the floor and pick your poison. Do you want to give up a 3 or do you want to give up a 2? And, you know, those guys have been shooting it at a very high clip, and they're elite shooters. And I think that's been you know, if we didn't have those guys, Kofi'd be getting doubled and tripled and quadrupled. So I think those guys deserve a lot of that credit.
Thanks, Coach.
Brad, any extra trick or challenge for the early Monday morning game, or is not big of a deal?
Go to bed early. I mean, go to bed early. We practice in the mornings. Most all first semester, obviously it's been a little different here at the break. So it's not like we're not used to getting up at 6. So get up early, get the body moving, and eat a good breakfast, hydrate, and let's throw it up.
You indicated last time that Andre Curbelo was about ready to start practicing again. Has he been able to do that? Any other status update?
He's gaining ground on it.
Okay, thank you.
Brad, I saw an interview where Painter kind of said yesterday that he was a lot happier with his defense than maybe a week and a half ago. And for somebody that's doing film preparation, are you seeing a different Purdue team defensively than maybe before Christmas break?
Well, considering they had Nebraska down 23-4, I'm sure he's really happy with the way they guarded. No, it's Christmas break. You guys, the importance of Christmas break is the opportunity to really work on things that you as a coach aren't pleased with. And, you know, Matt's done this a long time and seen a lot of success, and his teams are known for that. So they've been great. They were phenomenal against Nebraska on that end, and made a team that I think is very, very talented offensively, made him look not so good. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Brad.
Hey, Brad, if I could get one more just about this run you guys have been on. Are there parallels to that run you had at Stephen F. Austin in conference play there?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Gosh, that was a long time ago. I think that the one thing that we've always tried to do is just take every game for what it is. We've never overcomplicated things. It's been one day at a time. It's just been get better. And that's been the singular focus. I don't think we ever have tried to make one game any bigger than the other. We all know that there are certain games, when we played Sam Houston or, somebody that was our rival, you get a little bit of extra juice in those, but for the most part, every game is truly a 40-minute game. And we've got 20 of them in this league that are all darn hard. So, it's trying to find an even keel, but yet it's being demanding every day and pushing every day to be better than we were yesterday. And that's really the way we do it. And, that's probably the similarities that I can speak of.
Thanks, Brad.
But apart from using the holiday to schedule an early game, is there going to be any commemoration of MLK Day?
Yes, there'll be I'll have a very nice pair of sneakers on that will be in remembrance of Martin Luther King. They'll come out later.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. See you bright and early.
Thanks, Brad.